He's an oceanographer who's done very important research on ocean acidification and its relation to global warming. So please welcome Steve.
Thank you. You know, we're here today because science matters. Science is crucial to our progress as a people and is a principal driver of economic prosperity. We're here today because we are greatly concerned about the dismissal of science and the value of scientific consensus, including the drastic cuts in science funding that are in the proposed federal budget. We are here today because we strongly believe that the undermining of science represents an attack on the knowledge-based foundation of Western civilization and will suppress innovation, impact economic growth, slow medical progress, threaten public health, and lead to potentially dangerous and damaging changes to our environment. If things go as they are, science and technology in America will be greatly impacted for decades. Nowhere is the role of science being more undercut than advancing our understanding of climate change. The proposed federal budget cuts actively target climate change research and activities in EPA, in NOAA, NASA, and the Department of Energy, among others. As examples, in EPA, a 50% cut in the Office of Research is recommended. Proposed cuts in NOAA include zeroing out over $250 million in grants and programs supporting coastal management research and education. However, climate change is real, and it's placing our communities, our state, our country, and the world at risk. Here are some facts. The very vast majority of climate scientists agree that human-caused climate change is happening. We know that the concentration of carbon dioxide in the atmosphere has risen from 280 ppm, a value that held stable for more than a millennia, to now more than 400 ppm. And this rate of increase is accelerating. We know how increases in carbon dioxide, methane, and other greenhouse gases result in a warmer Earth. This relationship is well understood. In fact, without these natural atmospheric gases, the Earth would be an icy planet. We know that the temperature of the Earth has increased, and it's about 1.4 Fahrenheit greater than it was in the late 1800s. And we know that the rate of projected warming for the 21st century is greater than any time over the last 65 million years. 16 of the 17 warmest years in the 136 years of global temperature records have occurred since 2001. We know that temperature increases over the last 50 years cannot be explained by the combined effects of other potential natural drivers of warming. Sea ice sheets and glaciers are melting and sea levels are rising. We know the Arctic is warming 2 times faster than the world as a whole, and Arctic sea ice is now at about 50% of its historical average. We know that sea level rise due to a warming ocean and inputs from melting ice is causing higher storm surges, increased erosion, and saltwater intrusion into coastal aquifers. The current rate of sea level rise is the greatest seen in the past 1,000 years. The expansive Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets and glaciers are now melting at accelerating rates. Although not expected to fully melt, the Greenland and Antarctic ice sheets contain enough ice to raise mean sea level by 24 and 187 feet, respectively. The oceans are becoming more acidic. We know more than half of human-generated carbon dioxide released into the atmosphere in the last 200 years is in the ocean, where it reacts with water to form carbonic acid. just as occurs when we carbonate a beverage like a Coca-Cola. We know seawater acidity is increasing at its fastest rate in 300 million years and is making it difficult for marine organisms such as oysters to form calcified shells. This affects corals, mollusks, and important planktonic organisms at the base of marine food webs and has the potential to significantly change life as we know it in the oceans. As underscored in a recent report by the American Association for the Advancement of Science Climate Science Panel, we are now at risk of experiencing abrupt, unpredictable, and possibly non-reversible changes in the Earth's climate system. We don't know how much more warming might be needed to reach the tipping point, but we do know that this won't be good. This is serious stuff. However, strong scientific consensus is being disregarded, and anti-climate change viewpoints are now getting high-profile attention within key federal agencies. Unfortunately, there seems to be little discussion about a very important point. What if the scientific consensus is correct that greenhouse gas emissions are the primary driver of climate change? As you can see, the stakes are way too high to simply dismiss the consensus findings of nearly all climate change scientists, as some politicians are now doing. Would we do this, for example, when it comes to medical diagnosis of a family member's disabling and potentially critical illness? Would we discount the consensus views of 97% of the experts? Predictably, in some quarters, our march today will be marginalized and referred to as just another political show by another special interest group. However, in my mind, we are not really here for political purposes per se, but to promote and stress the importance of science and science-informed decision-making in our society. I think we are here to make it clear that science is a way of knowing that helps us understand the world we live in and has served humankind in America well.